Where does your sense of value really come from? Is it your job title, your paycheck, your social media likes, or the car that you drive? We've been taught to believe that these things define us. But here's the hard truth: most of us are living on borrowed value, and we don't even realize it. We measure ourselves by the external markers that feel good in the moment, but they're fragile and they can disappear. When they do, we're left asking, who am I without them? That's the problem with borrowed value. It's based on things outside yourself, and it's never really yours. If your self worth depends on these things, you're living on borrowed value. In this video, I'll show you how to stop relying on it and start building your own true value, the kind that comes from within and the kind that no one can ever take away. So, what exactly is borrowed value? It's when your sense of worth depends on things beyond yourself, like titles, recognition, compliments, or even being that go to problem solver at work. The catch is, those things don't last. They can change overnight, and when they do, you're left questioning yourself. By contrast, true value comes from within. It's grounded in your growth, the decisions you make, and the actions that reflect who you truly are. It's steady, unwavering, and entirely yours. I know this because for years I built my identity on borrowed value. Climbing the corporate ladder, I measured myself by my title, my salary, the projects I managed, and the meetings I was invited to. That's where I thought my worth came from. Borrowed value is a lot like a bank account. Positive interactions like praise, recognition, approval deposit emotional currency, and you feel really good. But negative interactions like criticism, being overlooked, or feeling underappreciated, they debit that account. And suddenly your sense of self worth plummets. As I moved up, people treated me important before they even knew me, simply because of my title. And yes, I'll admit it felt good. But over time, those deposits weren't enough. My title didn't reflect the level of work I was doing. My salary didn't match my experience. And I didn't always have a voice in the decisions that mattered most to me. The toll was real: exhaustion, frustration, insecurity, and even anger. That's when it hit me. I wasn't valuing myself, I was letting others decide my worth. I was living on borrowed value, and that had to change. And here's the thing, my story isn't unique. This happens to so many of us. Think about it. If your emotional bank account depends on what others deposit or withdraw, you're always at the mercy of their approval. One day you feel confident and on top of the world, and the next, just a small critique can wipe out all that progress and you feel terrible. So here's the question you need to ask yourself: how do you know if your sense of worth is borrowed and not truly your own? There are some clear signs, and if you're really honest with yourself, you might notice a few in your own life. Let's break them down so that you can get a clearer view of where your value really comes from. Sign number one: you measure your worth by comparison. My favorite quote is, "Comparison is the thief of joy." And that is so true. You only feel good when you're ahead of others, not when you're simply aligned with yourself. I know it's hard, but your focus needs to be on your own growth and not someone else's highlight reel. Sign number two: your confidence rises and falls with feedback. This one ties back to the emotional bank account we just talked about. Compliments deposit a little boost of confidence, but one critique can feel like a withdrawal that wipes out your day. Your sense of worth should not be dictated by someone else's opinion. Sign number three: you chase achievements for the label, not the meaning. It's the title, the award, the congratulations that you crave. That external recognition can feel more important than the fulfillment that actually comes from the work itself. You're chasing quick hits of validation and calling them real accomplishment. Sign four: You over-identify with roles or associations. In this scenario, the connection takes priority and you put yourself second. This sounds like I'm valuable because I work at XYZ company, or I have this credential, or I belong to this group. Your worth ends up tied to associations instead of who you really are. Sign number 5, you feel empty after the applause. Even big wins, a promotion, recognition, maybe a viral post, fade fast, leaving you restless, wondering what's next. You might live for external validation, but it never sticks. Like Lady Gaga said, I live for the applause, applause, applause. Ask yourself when you think about your own life, are you living for the applause too? Sign 6, you hide parts of yourself to fit the borrowed image. You edit, shrink, or censor yourself to keep the validation coming. You might downplay your quirks, your opinions, or even your dreams because you're putting others' approval ahead of your own authenticity. Sign 7, your goals shift based on what looks impressive to others. Instead of asking, what do I really want? You ask, what will make me look good? Your decisions become performative, aimed at boosting your image rather than building your life. Sign 8, you fear losing the borrowed marker. The thought of changing jobs, roles, or social circles can feel terrifying. If these titles, positions, or affiliations disappear, you find yourself asking, who am I without them? And sign number 9, you downplay your inner wins, the habits you've built, the resilience you've shown, the quiet progress you've made. It's easy to dismiss it all when they aren't being recognized. These are the wins that truly define you. So, do any of these sound familiar? They certainly did for me. I could check off almost every single one of them. And that last one, downplaying your inner wins, this is the one I want to pause on because realizing this can be the thing to flip the switch for you. Instead of ignoring your own growth, you'll start noticing it. And that's the beginning of building true value. Now that we can spot borrowed value, let's talk about how to reclaim true value, the kind no one can take away. Evolving your personal value from borrowed to true is not something that happens overnight. If you've been living in borrowed value for a long time, it takes practice to untangle yourself from those patterns. But the good news is you can start today. Your journey to true value starts with personal reflection. Be honest with yourself. And when you look back, don't get upset. Just let the past be the past. What matters now is that you've identified the problem. Once you've named it, you can focus on it and release it. I recommend grabbing a journal. Writing things down creates a release. Start by writing where you're leaning on external validation and note how it makes you feel. Seeing it on paper helps make patterns clearer. And when you see them, you can shift them. But even if you're not writing, just take the time to pause and think through this. It's a really powerful exercise. So, step 1, understand your patterns. Begin by asking yourself, where am I leaning on borrowed value right now? In what situation does it show up? Is it through metrics like numbers, grades I'm making, the likes I'm receiving, the money I make? Or is it through opinions such as praise, approval, or recognition from others? Or is it through comparisons, measuring yourself against someone else's highlight reel? This is where reflection gets real. Take the time to look at the different areas of your life, work, relationships, even your daily routines, and notice where borrowed value sneaks in. The act of identifying these places is powerful. It's the very first step in taking your value back because awareness is what gives you a choice. And once you're aware, you can stop chasing external validation and start anchoring your worth from within. Step number 2 is anchoring yourself with affirmations. Once you've identified the patterns, the next step is to shift them. And here's what I want you to remember: your worth is not out there. It's not in likes or praise or recognition. It's in here. It's already in you. One of the most effective tools to build beliefs is affirmations. Affirmations are simple, positive, present tense statements that you repeat to yourself. They challenge negative thoughts, build confidence, and help reprogram your mind to think differently. And when you practice them, they become your anchors. Anchors that hold you steady, even when the world outside is shifting. Here are a few affirmations that you can try. My value doesn't depend on titles, recognition, or approval. I define my worth by who I am and not what others think. I celebrate my progress, no matter who notices it. I am proud of the effort I put in, not just the outcome. And I am enough exactly as I am today. Write down 3 to 5 affirmations that speak to you and to your patterns. If you've been chasing approval, choose affirmations that remind you your worth is not defined by others. Then place them where you'll see them every day: in your journal, maybe on sticky notes on your bathroom mirror, or even in the Notes app on your phone. And here's the most important part: say them out loud every day. At first, it might feel awkward, almost like you're pretending, but keep going, because over time, your brain starts to believe your own voice. And that's when real lasting confidence takes root. Step 3, revisit where you're focusing your effort. Now, let's talk about where your energy goes. At the end of the day, ask yourself, how did I really spend my time? Did it serve me, or did it just serve everyone else's expectations? Now, go back to your goals. Not just the ones you set in January, but the ones you've been carrying quietly in your mind. Maybe you want to learn a new skill, add more movement into your day, or make a space for wellness. Pick just one. That's enough. Then create a small goal around it. For example, maybe you decide to start your day with a 5-minute meditation. Just 5 minutes to ground yourself before you jump into email, work, or family responsibilities. Here's the key: keep it for yourself. Don't do it for the applause. Don't chase the end result. Celebrate the act of showing up and celebrate the journey itself. Because when you learn to fuel yourself without applause, you grow stronger. You stop living for recognition and you start building a quiet confidence that belongs to you alone. And step 4, build unborrowed joy. This last step is my favorite step. When you live on borrowed value, your joy rises and falls based on what others give or don't give you. That's exhausting. Real joy, the kind that lasts, comes from within. But joy looks different to everyone. Maybe it's finally picking up a camera and exploring photography, or it's starting those guitar lessons you've always wanted to try. It could be practicing gratitude each night or creating a morning playlist that gives you energy before the day begins. Think back about what you loved as a kid, or give yourself permission to try something new. For me, it's been pickleball. It brings me joy because I get to focus on the game, move my body, and connect with others. It's a combination that lights me up. And lately, I've also been curious about Mahjong. So that's going to be my next adventure on my quest to find joy. For you, it could be learning to watercolor, dedicating time to your yoga practice, treating yourself to coffee every Friday, or just making space for yourself to take a quiet walk while you tune in to your favorite true crime podcast. Here's the most important part: it doesn't have to be big or impressive. What matters is that it's yours and that it sparks joy without needing anyone else's approval. Because that's how to remember what value feels like from the inside out. That's how you step into true value. So here's my challenge for you: take some time for yourself this week and try this transformation exercise. You already have everything you need inside to discover the true value that you bring. Drop a comment below and share one affirmation you'll be adding to your daily routine. I can't wait to see what you choose. And if you want more practical tips like this, simple habits, mindset shifts, and tools that actually fit real life, hit subscribe. I post new videos every Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in and leveling up. Remember, you have the power to start living on your own terms. I'll see you next time.